Mike Bohn of MMAjunkie here following UFC 230 official weigh-in, standing with Paul Felder, UFC commentator, who makes his pay-per-view debut this weekend. Big-time stuff, Paul. As I just said, weigh-ins just wrapped up, and the big story coming out of this, Sijara Eubanks misses weight for her fight against Roxanne Modafferi. Very disappointing, I imagine. She was supposed to fight for the title on the card. Obviously, that didn't come to fruition, but just your immediate reaction for what happened all the way leading up to this fight, and then now she misses weight.
I just think anytime you're very vocal on social media and you want things like title shots and you think you deserve them, which taking nothing away from who she is as a fighter, but there's one job you just gotta tackle before you get into the octagon, and it's making that weight. So to come in here after all the stuff that's been going on surrounding this fight and not getting the other fight with Valentina and all that, it's really unfortunate. I think she's got to take this one on the chin, go win that fight, and do something about moving up a weight class or really getting on top of making this weight properly and not missing weight. And it's just going to end up devastating her career.
Yeah, because she already lost the title fight once by being hospitalized prior to the Ultimate Fighter finale. She makes weight for her second or first official UFC fight, and then this happens. And then she goes on Twitter and is doing shrug emojis and stuff, like not the reaction you want to see out of this situation. It should be apologetic. Any ill will or fan will that she had, in my opinion, from getting that title fight taken away is gone now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I don't think that's the way to handle it, just being like, oh well. And again, I don't know Sijara all that well personally, but I know that it's not a good look to handle it like that. If you were like, look, something went wrong, I apologize, do anything, or just don't say anything at all and show up and win the fight and give your money up and move on. You know what I mean? It's in the past. She's got to try to focus on Saturday night now and not think too much on it. But it's definitely going to slow down the progress moving up in that division.
Yeah, and Brian Kelleher misses weight as well, but other than that, main card, all official.
That surprised me too. I didn't expect Kelleher to miss weight like that. I was looking forward to that fight. I like watching Boom fight. He's always exciting. So hopefully something went wrong with him there, and I think he'll bounce back. I don't think he's known for missing weight.
He's not, but the main card, all the biggest fights on this card are official. Daniel Cormier, 5 pounds heavier than he was against Stipe Miocic. He comes in, him and Derek Lewis both look pretty good. Daniel Cormier is just so happy up there. In terms of this fight itself, it started out with coming together on pretty short notice. Both guys talked about how they were injured and stuff, but it seems like leading up to this fight now, the final days, everyone seems to be pretty good spirits, pretty happy with how things turned out. So going into this fight, just what do you expect out of these guys? I know you can't make official predictions, but how do you see this one kind of unfolding? Who needs to do what in order to win?
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that Cormier's got to use his boxing, get inside, wear on Lewis, drag him to the ground, look for submissions, ground and pound, and just make it a dogfight. And that's what he's best at. And for Lewis, stay calm, stay on the outside, and look for those long straight shots. Maybe throw some head kicks, which are, not necessarily his strong suit, but he throws them. He gets crazy in there. He's not afraid. Yeah, he's not afraid to get a little crazy in there. And I think this is the opportunity for him to do that. Open up. This is, your chance at a title fight. He's got to be a little careful though, because if he throws too many kicks, Cormier's going to close that distance, get on top of him. But he's shown that he's got the ability to get back up. I think his cardio is going to be better because he's coming from a full training camp where he won the fight and went right back into a short notice camp where he just focused on pushing the cardio and pushing the pace. So I'm hoping that it's Derek Lewis at his absolute best on Saturday night, and I think it will be.
Yeah, we saw Daniel Cormier, kind of the Anderson Silva fight, short notice. He was very risk-averse in that fight. He just went to his game, took him down. Do you think we see a similar approach against Derek Lewis? Like, he has so much on the line here. He has the Brock Lesnar fight, potential John Jones fight. We're not going to see Daniel Cormier even put any possibility of losing this title up for grabs on Saturday, right?
No, I think he's going to wrestle him. I think he's going to use his weapons that he's got and get in there, close the distance. Even if he doesn't get a takedown, I think he's going to put his head right under his chin, wear on him, throw punches. We don't know, what's the update on how is that hand doing? I saw even in the, was it Embedded or maybe the Countdown show, he was having it specifically wrapped even when he was doing MMA drills and things like that. So it's definitely something he's still babying. It's like my arm. My arm is 100% according to the doctors. But it doesn't mean that for these first few weeks since I've been cleared, you're still thinking about it. You're still babying it, and we'll see if that broken hand is not something that he's afraid to throw in the fight. That could be a big game changer.
And then the co-main event, huge middleweight fight. Seemed like it could be a title eliminator between Chris Weidman and Jacare Souza. This is a fight I've been wanting to see for a very long time. It came together because Luke Rockhold fell out of this card, but still a very, very legit fight in this weight class. Do you think this is going to determine who fights that Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum winner?
Yeah, I think it absolutely could. I mean, these guys have both been at the very tippy top of this division for absolutely ever. And, you got two grapplers. I think we might end up seeing kind of a bloody kickboxing match between these two guys because they may end up canceling each other out in the grappling department, or it could be the most epic back and forth wrestling / grappling match that we've seen in a long time. But I kind of, Jacare is not afraid to throw down on the feet and throw head kicks. We saw that against Brunson, and we've seen Chris Weidman. His stand-up is always evolving. Look at his fight with Machida, stood with him and was able to take his shots for 5 rounds. So could end up being a back and forth kickboxing battle with some takedowns mixed in, of course, between these two guys. So.
Yeah. And some other key middleweight bouts. We have Jared Cannonier making his middleweight debut against David Branch. We have Israel Adesanya looking to stay undefeated against Derek Brunson. Even outside of those, anything else that really stands out to you on this card? Any one fight, one fighter that you're very curious?
A couple guys that I've kind of come up on the East Coast scene with. Lyman Good is fighting, Shane Burgos is fighting, Kelleher is fighting, and then an old teammate from New Mexico, Lando Venata, is fighting. Anytime that guy.
Left Jackson's too, interestingly enough.
Yeah, he's been doing his own thing, and I know he's been at Cowboys Ranch, so I think when that whole situation went down, I think he actually was on his way out even before that went down. So there's a lot going on over there in New Mexico, and I don't know the whole scoop, so I can't even speak to it fully, but I love watching him fight. I mean, that guy's going to bring it, and he's fighting, Frivola, who was a Contender Series guy, so a guy I'm very familiar with as well. So, yeah, man, that's just the tip of the iceberg on what I'm excited about on this card.
Perfect. Well, it all goes down Saturday night. Paul Felder will be in the booth for a pay-per-view for the first time. Make sure to tune into that and keep up with all the coverage going into Fight Night on MMA Junkie.